Hi, I'm Ryan Kamana, President and founder of Dynamic Breakthroughs. As a sales and NLP trainer, I'm often asked how to start a conversation about my product or service. Well, starting a conversation or leading the conversation specifically to what you do is definitely an art. Fortunately, the art is very simple to learn. There's a specific technique you can use to lead any conversation back to what you're selling.
First of all, let's discuss what you're going to say when you lead the conversation back to yourself. If you don't already have a unique selling proposition, you really don't have a leg to stand on. I recommend reading Mark Joyner's book, The Irresistible Offer: How to Sell Your Product or Service in 3 Seconds or Less. In short, a unique selling proposition describes what you do in a manner that makes a prospect ask, what is that? Or how do you do that?
For instance, whenever I lead a conversation back to my profession and a prospect asks me what I do, I tell them I'm the architect of human potential. Now, immediately the prospect either asks, what is that? Or what do you specifically do with the potential? What I do then, I then ask them a series of questions which allows me to determine if they could benefit from my unique services. You need to have your USP ready to go. Make sure to keep it short and preferably mix words that normally are not used together. So for another example, instead of an insurance agent, you could say, I'm an asset protection specialist. Get creative. The more interesting and different the title, the easier it is for the prospect to get you asking questions. Now back to how to lead the prospect back to the question of what do you do? So the secret to this is to relate whatever you're talking about back to your unique selling proposition, whatever your conversation is. The actual technique, called lateral chunking, is to look at a higher level of the conversation and then move laterally and then back down to what you do. For instance, you're talking to a potential prospect about the weather. You say to the potential prospect, the weather's great today. The prospect replies, it sure is. Then you say, it's great today, but you should always plan for a rainy day, shouldn't you? Most of the time the weather is harmless, but sometimes a storm can do some major damage. In fact, that's actually what I do. And the potential prospect says, oh, what is it that you do? I'm an asset protection specialist. And the prospect immediately says, a what? So what you did here is relate weather to something that you need to protect yourself from. And assets also need to be protected from bad events. There you have a very simplified form of lateral chunking. To learn more about using NLP for amazingly persuasive sales, visit www.nlpsalescourse.com.